One of the things that I wanted to remind you before you started writing your paragraph about Canton and his fear was how to generate ideas about what you have about your topic for your writing. So what we're writing about is trying to answer the question, what was Canton afraid of during the Broom Dog story, and how did he overcome those fears? Now, we are trying to infer what he's afraid of, and that might be something that is a little bit tougher for us to do in this story because we know that he's afraid of the fact that his mom got ran over by or hit by a bus, but we don't know why he continues to be afraid. So we have to infer based on Canton's reaction of something that and draw a conclusion of something that he might be afraid of. So we have to use our background knowledge, remember, when we infer, and we have to come up with an answer that we think would make the most sense based on the text that we're reading and how Canton's acting in the text that we read, and then also what we know about why he might be afraid or some things that might be causing him to be afraid. So, the first thing you want to do before you start writing your paragraph is to come up with some ideas and just generate things that you think about when you think about fear or when you think about how you overcome fear. I'm going to specifically generate some ideas that I think about when I think about the story and when I think about what I'm coming up with and drawing what conclusions with what I think Canton's fears are. So I noticed in the story that Canton shut down, so I would write that down as an example of him being afraid. He wouldn't talk to anyone. He went into the bathroom and he just kind of basically went into shutdown mode, wouldn't talk to anyone. He also seemed withdrawn, so that was something else that I would type in this part where he was showing fear. He was also acting like he didn't want to go to the scene where his mom had been hurt. Now, as I move forward a little bit, I start thinking about things that as he knows his mom is recovering and she gets better, what continues his fear? Why does he keep being afraid of something? So I got to thinking, well, maybe he's afraid that his mom might get hurt again because she's still working where the bus is. And she's still being a crossing guard, so maybe he's afraid that his mom might get hurt again. Sometimes I think about how children, being a parent, not a child, I know that sometimes children will think about themselves getting hurt and not necessarily if the adult in their life has been hurt. So maybe he's thinking that he might be hurt. Or maybe he's thinking that others could be hurt, like his friends could be hurt. Maybe other, people that he knows could be hurt. So now that I've come up with some ideas of things that I thought he was afraid of, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can come up with some ways that I see in the story that he overcame these fears. So one of the ways that I saw that he overcame was that he made friends with Mr. Munch. He spent a lot of time with Mr. Munch, helping him and doing different things with him after school, so I know that that probably helped him overcome his fears. Of course, I noticed that he started carrying the broom dog that Mr. Munch made for him. And I also noticed that he talked with his mom during the story. So these are just a few of my ideas that I typed down to get ready to organize my writing for my paragraph. Remember, it's always a good idea to generate some ideas before you start organizing. The next step that you will take is organizing your paragraph, and I have uploaded a bubble map that you can do that on. So you can either do that electronically with the document that I've uploaded, or you can just get a piece of paper and do that if you want on a piece of paper.